All right, it's time for a little bit of analysis right now. Link in the description, archived, of course. It's an article about whether it's okay to effectively ignore your MAGA relatives. Now, I don't personally believe in disowning somebody from your life simply because of their political or socio-political views. It would be no different from saying, like, I'm not going to talk to you because you don't believe in climate change. Or you do believe in climate change. Maybe take offense to that or something. I think that family ties and close friendships should remain relatively intact from such things. But is it okay to disown a relative for their politics? Yes, in my opinion, it is. I believe that it's okay to disown somebody from your life with whom you are at continuous odds with. It doesn't matter, like, if they have a casual political opinion, let's say that they just casually remark, well, I voted for Joe Biden over, Donald Trump. Okay. That's a little bit different. You're only mentioning it once. You're not obsessed with the topic. It's not your forte. You just happen to be somewhat politically motivated. That's perfectly fine. But let's say that you have that relative that can't stop talking about politics. They literally can't shut their fucking mouth. It doesn't even matter at some point if you even agree with them. Some people are so obsessed with these subjects. I've had people who have pissed me off because the only thing they can talk about is how great Donald Trump is or something like that. And I voted for the dude. It has happened before. I've had several relatives, meanwhile, who are staunch liberals, one of which who bizarrely decided that she wanted to vote for DeSantis, actually, and was very upset when he dropped out of the race. I'm like, you're supposed to be like a liberal. You're basically a leftoid. What are you talking about? It made absolutely no sense. I suppose it was Biden version more than anything else. I have a feeling that, by the way, this sunk the election for him. More than his debate performance did, oddly enough. Now, I've always thought that really live and let live. Look, when you're at the family get together, when you're at the Halloween table or the Christmas table or the Easter table or whatever it happens to be, just let politics go. It's a time for family and stuff like that. And if you can keep it to that bare minimum, where you squabble occasionally and so forth, but generally speaking, you're getting along. I don't think that it's appropriate to simply disown somebody from your inner circle based solely on that. For example, look at me. I'm a content creator. I interact with hundreds of people every day, and my viewership reaches many tens of thousands of people every day. There are some people that watch my content that I disagree with from time to time. I'm naming you Bobby Bobbinson. But at the same time, you're not just gonna cut them loose, ban them from your channel because they fucking disagree with you. That's pussy behavior, actually, in my personal opinion. Now, you should welcome the intrusion of people that believe in things that you do not believe in. It's at least my belief. Of course, you're free to disagree with me. Notice you will not get banned from my channel for doing so. I cannot say the same for certain other content creators who shall remain unnamed. Yes, so my take is it is perfectly acceptable to disown somebody for their politics or their opinions on anything else if it is highly invasive. So the person literally can't stop talking about the subject. They can't stop talking about some politician you fucking hate. They can't stop talking about some food you fucking hate. Please, don't bring up Runza to me. It's a bad idea. You will get blocked for that. That'll probably become a channel meme at this point. But if it's just like an aside or a couple of asides, really, I think that it's really odd to force somebody out of your life who you otherwise are very close to simply because they disagree with you on something like politics. And politics is like, I cover it for a living. I've been analyzing politics, statistics, political predictions. I've been doing this for more than a decade. But in my own personal life, with the people that are generally around me. So my parents, my close friends, and so forth. I do not force somebody out of my life simply because I disagree with them. For example, my dad, right? He voted for Trump. He immediately did what a lot of neocons do and turned around and said, well, I kind of regret voting for this dude. And look what he did today. And basically taking up liberal talking points more than anything. Like, I totally disagree with him. I completely disagree on 90% of those problems because I don't see them as problematic, because I understand politics more than the average person. But I'm not going to disown my dad simply because he has turned anti-MAGA, because he's my dad. So he gets a pass. This is the way that things should work. If a person is outside of your inner circle, well, then it doesn't really matter now, does it? But if somebody is a core member of your family or your inner circle of friends, it doesn't make any sense to simply stop talking to them because of their political opinions. So I would say the answer is fundamentally yes. It's acceptable to disown somebody for their politics, but it has to be systemic. If they just bring up the fact that they voted for somebody that you didn't like, that makes absolutely no sense to simply throw the baby out with the bathwater. If they talk about it every single time that you interact with them, that's a little bit of a different story. Now, this article, of course, ruminates only on your MAGA relatives. If you are a liberal, here's why it's okay to disown your entire family. No, it's not. That makes absolutely no sense. Are they really talking about Donald Trump every time you come to the dinner table? I think you would find it very, very rare that that would actually happen. The fact that somebody brought up the fact that they voted for Donald Trump while they were eating their sugar-browned potatoes doesn't mean that you should be cutting them loose from your entire life. Now, if they do that constantly, all they can talk about is, oh, look at what Donald did today and how great he is or something. I can understand how that would become a little bit boring after a while. Again, somebody who voted for the man, as somebody who still supports him, I would get a little bit pissed off at some point too. I'm like, there's other conversations we could be having. Look at my asparagus out back or something like that. How good the food is, or, anything else under the sun. It must get boring. But unless it is systemic, I would say generally the answer is no. If it is, I would say generally the answer is yes. Maybe not disown them, but just distance yourself from them. Be like, look, all you can talk about is politics. It's the only thing that you ever discuss. And I'm tired of it. I'm simply bored with your conversation making. So, keep them at an arm's length or something like that. That's basically what I would advise. That's about all. Peace out.